Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. So let me start off by sharing the screen. Okay, I think the screen should be visible now. So in today's lecture, we'll be taking up the topic that is reinforcement learning. Right? So this is again very interesting type of a machine learning method or a type of a machine learning you can say that you know we have out there in the real-time problems we see. So we'll take a few examples. We'll see some real-time examples of this reinforcement learning. What do we mean by this reinforcement learning is also what we are going to see. So our agenda for the discussion will be the introduction, that is what is the reinforcement learning, right? The understanding of the reinforcement learning is what we are first going to see. Then we are going to take up the learning task. What is the learning task for this reinforcement type of learning, right? And also we are going to see some Q learning and what is this Q learning. So without any further ado, let us start by understanding the reinforcement learning, right? So let us consider some learning to choose actions, right? By learning to choose actions, I mean, let me give you some examples here. That is learning to choose actions. For example, is the robot learning. Right. So the robot learning, a particular, let's say we have a robot learning to dock on the battery charger. Right. Can we have the type of a robot which can dock on the battery charger? Right. So we will talk about more about this in detail. Then we can have one such example, that is learning to choose action, which is learning to choose action to optimize the factory output. Right? How can we make the resource utilization proper, or you can say optimize resource utilization at the factory level? So can we have a model which can have a learning method which can choose the actions to optimize those factory output? Then we can have one more example, let's say learning to play backgammon. So hopefully you can recall the introductory classes. I think in the module one we discussed about what is this backgammon game and how do we play, right? So we discussed a lot about there about the backgammon. So that is one of such reinforcement learning, application we can say to play this Pokemon game. Why this game? Because basically what we try to do there, try to take some actions depending upon the learning of the model to optimize our moves, right? Basically to gain the score, we choose our actions, that is nothing but our moves there, right? So this can be considered as one of the application for reinforcement learning. Now, what are the several problem with respect to these uh, reinforcement type of learning? So, several problem characteristics is what we have listed here. That is, we can say that is delay reward. By delay reward, I mean that the reinforcement learning uh, is based on the reward that we give, right? Hopefully, if you can recall the module one, we discussed about the game, the backgammon, as I mentioned. So we discussed about the reward function there. So when we have this reward function being delayed, we can say that this can create a problem for the reinforcement type of learning. Right. Another problem can be the opportunity for active exploration. Right. So we will discuss shortly about these in detail so that these problem characteristics are clear to you. Next one is the possibility that state only partially observable, right? So whatever the state that we have in a particular model, if that particular state is partially observable, that can be possibly a problem for us. Because uh, if we have a partial observable state, we might not land up on the accurate actions that we have to choose, right? So the actions chosen will be only basis on the basis of the partial observable state that we have. Again, one more problem characteristics that we have is the possible need to learn multiple tasks with the same sensors or the effectors, right? That is, possibly need to learn multiple tasks with the same sensors or the effectors. So, in order to give you more insights about these problems and what are we talking about these learning to choose actions, let us go and understand this particular what do we mean by this reinforcement learning, right? So, reinforcement learning is a type of a learning which is by interacting with a space or an environment, right? Interacting with a space or an environment. Now, as you can see here in a diagram, let's take a first diagram that we have a, you can say a robot, right, which is nothing but our agent, right, the learning agent, and we have a setup environment for that robot, which is nothing but in this setup environment we have the fire at one side, and you can say there's water at the other side. So the robot has to decide whether which one is, a good or a bad thing. So this is just a setup environment, right? Hypothetical situation. Let's say we want to make the robot learn, right, which is good or which is not good, right? So this agent here, which is nothing but our robot here, this will be our reinforcement learning agent, or in short, RL agent, right? This RL agent right here will learn. It learns from the consequences of its actions, right? It learns from the consequences of its actions rather than being taught explicitly. So we are not teaching the agent here. This is very important. We are not giving any information to the agent that this particular thing is bad or this particular thing is good. We are not explicitly teaching the agent. We are just exploring. We are just exposing this agent to a particular setup environment or a space. Right. So this agent will learn the consequences of its action, right, on its own without being taught explicitly, and it selects its actions on the basis of its past experience, right? So whatever the agent will undergo throughout this learning process, it is going to create its own experiences. So depending on those past experiences, which we call it exploitation, right? Please mark this down. This is very important. That is exploitation. So whatever the past experience this particular agent has gone through is nothing but our exploitation, and the agent, this RL agent, will select those actions basis on the basis of those exploitation, and also by the new choices. Right? It is also going to uh, select its actions on the basis of the new choices also, which we are going to call as exploration. Right? So exploration and exploitation. Exploitation is the uh, set of past experiences the agent has gone through, and the exploration is the new choices that are made available to the agent. So these are the two things that the agent will be, taking into consideration in order to select its actions. Right. So we were talking about some terms called rewards and states and actions. Right. So as you can see on the left hand side, there's a small diagram that denotes the how the environment, from the environment we are trying to give a reward, and also we are trying to give a state to the agent, and depending on the state and the reward given to the agent is going to select some of the actions and going to act in that particular setup environment, right? So there, if I have to put it down into smaller steps, right, the first step will be the agent, this reinforcement learning agent, RL agent, will be observing the environment. It is going to select action using policy, right? The action is taken place, and then it will get the reward or the penalty. Reward in case if it is correct, penalty in case if it is wrong, right? So as you can make out clearly from the diagram, that the robot took the action, that is step 3, to go towards the fire. So it says that this is not the good thing, right? It is not good. It is bad. We should avoid it. So this is not. This cannot be a reward. This has to be the penalty. So instead of reward, the penalty is awarded. That is nothing but negative points. That is minus 50. As you can see, this is just an hypothetical example, but this is just for your understanding to make you understand that what is the difference between the reward and the penalty, right? So once the robot goes to the fire, near to the fire, it identifies that this is not the right thing. You should avoid fire. So instead of reward, we give the penalty, that is minus 50. And as you can see in the step 5, we update the policy. That is nothing but our learning step. Now, learning step, we assign this environment, the entity in this environment, as the bad, right? So this is just a label that is given. You can define it whatever you want, but this is just for your understanding that this particular entity has to be avoided next time, right? So fire is equal to bad. Next time, avoid it. Right. So this is an example. Now this is, since we have updated the policy now, which is nothing but our learning step, we will iterate until an optimal policy is found. That means the agent will again go back to its neutral state, that is nothing but the middle state, and again it will try to iterate the other optimal policies it has found, right? So it is going to iterate, that is, iteration is nothing but it is going to continuously move in that setup environment and continuously going to check whether what is the optimal policy, right? So once it founds the optimal policy, that is nothing but, in this case, we can say that the tap or the water here, right here, is safe, right? Safe than fire. So we can say that this is, the tap or the water is good, fire is bad. So once it founds that the optimal policy, that is nothing but water here, is good, so it updates again its policy and then it will stop. So these are the basic 6 steps which will be typically followed in any type of the reinforcement learning. Right. So this is the please remember these terms. That is the state. Let's say state ST, a reward. Let's say RT. Right. The agent here and the action. Let's say AT. Right. So the number of iteration, let's say reward, next reward that we want to give, that will be RT plus 1, then the next state will be ST plus 1, and so on. So this is just an example. If I have to explain this diagram a little bit in more detail, let's say we have this particular agent right here, right, and we have a setup environment. So from the setup environment, we are going to give the state and the reward as the input to the agent, and in return, depending upon the state and the reward, agent is going to, uh, we can say that it is going to select this action from this set of actions and going to act in that setup environment, right? So this will iterate a number of times until it finds the optimal policy, right? Right. So this is, the goal is to learn to choose the action that maximizes. Right. Our ultimate goal is to select or choose the actions which can make the which can be maximizing. Right. Maximizing as in maximizing the total rewards. So the action which fetches the maximum reward will be our optimal action. Right. Optimal solution for that matter. So formula for that, as you can see, this R naught is the initial reward, R1 is the next reward, R2 is the next, and so on. And as you can see, there is one more additional symbol here, right? So this is nothing but our rate, the rate at which we are trying to change the value. Let me demonstrate with respect to an example. Okay. So this is our a discount factor for the future reward. So whenever after the initial reward, whenever we try to give the next reward, we give the product of the reward that we're trying to add with the discount factor, right? Which is this symbol here, right here. Right. So let us understand this learning, reinforcement learning, uh, with this agent's learning with respect to a particular learning task, right? So execute actions in environment, right? Observe the results, and then how are we going to proceed is by learning action policy. That is, let's say pi is to s given a, which is nothing but the state Depending upon the state, we choose the action. What type of action? The action that maximizes the total, you know, we can say that the total optimal function that we are trying to do. Right. So if you can connect it to anything, for example, if you're talking about, let's say, the factory optimization as we discussed in the initial slide. So in that case, it will be the maximum utilization. That is nothing but optimum, not maximum, the optimum utilization, right? So if you talk about the vacuum on game, so in that case, it will be the maximum points, right? So it depends the uh, depending upon the learning task that you are preparing, that is to learn the action policy with what maximization, right? So from any starting state, let's say S. Here, as I mentioned, this particular discount factor will be in between the value 0 or 1, right? So 0 less than or equal to that discount factor gamma less than or equal to 1. Now there are a few important things which to be noted here. That is a few new terms, that is the target function, which is pi, as I mentioned. Target function pi is such that the actions are from the state, right? Pi such that S implies A. But we can say that we have no training examples of form S comma A, right? We don't have training examples, right? This is the reinforcement learning. We didn't add any example uh, which is given, right? So no training examples of this form S comma A. Training instead, the training examples are of form S comma A comma R, where R is the, hopefully you can recall, R is the reward, right? So apart from the state and the action, we are going to give a reward, right? So let us go further and understand the value function here, right? So to begin with it, uh, consider the deterministic words, right? The deterministic words. What do you mean by the deterministic word? So as the name suggests, deterministic. Deterministic, the case or scenario wherein you can determine few things, right? So if you can think of a problem which you can determine, you can say that that can be a well suitable. We can consider that problem for the value function. By that I mean that for each policy, that is for the target function pi, the agent might adopt, right? The agent might adopt for each policy of the target function pi. Now we can define an evaluation function for that as well, right? Evaluation function over those states. So the evaluation function formula will be something like that. It is basically what we have just seen. That is the summation of the uh, reward and the discount factor, right? For all the iterations. So when you try to put up the summation formula, the value function will be equal to the summation of all the instances, that is, let's say, from I to infinity, whatever that value is, right? That discount fact, the product of the discount factor and the reward as in the reward for each iteration, right? So whatever that each iteration that we have, let's say the initial reward is rt, so it is the reward for the target function rt. So the summation of all the follow by reward function. So we can say that uh, the summation of the product of the discount factor and the reward, that is RT plus I, right? RT plus I, where as I mentioned RT plus 1 and so on are generated by the following policy target function pi starting at the state S, right? So restated that the task is to learn the optimal policy pi star. So pi star is the optimal policy. Now don't get confused. Pi is our target function. Let me show you the slide again. Right. So target function is pi, and pi star is the, yeah, pardon my star, but star is the uh, optimal policy, right? So pi star implies the arg max v raised to pi of s, comma the for all samples, right? So where the s is for all samples. So this will be the formula for our optimal policy. So in order to have better understanding of it, let me show you this one. I was talking about the deterministic world. Uh, the problem for the deterministic world. Right? So this is a simple deterministic world uh, diagram you can relate it to illustrate some basic concepts, right? The basic concepts of, let's say, the Q learning, right? So here in the diagram, as you can see in all these diagrams, there are different grids and there are some numbers, right? With one grid being labeled as G, right? So this G is nothing but our goal, or this is, if I have to say in other words, if these grids indicate different states, then G is our goal state, right? The state that we want to get into, that is our final goal, right? So each grid square here represents a separate or a distinct state, right? Each square is a different state, right? And each arrow here, it indicates the actions, right? Every arrow here, as you can see, there is left and right, right? Some arrows on left, some arrows on right, some on top, some going to down, and so on. So these each arrow is a distinct action that is taken to enter into that state. Now, uh, this r comma s, as you can see, this r of s comma a is the reward, that is the immediate reward value, right? This is the immediate reward function r of s comma a, which gives, in this case, if you talk about this problem, it gives a reward of 100 points, right? Or 100 marks, 100, whatever you want to call it, but it rewards 100 for actions entering into that goal state. So when any action which is entering into that goal state, as you can see in every diagram here, whatever actions that are entering into that goal state, they are awarded as 100, right? And in case if it is getting into the same state, it will be again, it will be just the same. It will not add up to 100, but it will be same, that is zero. It will not add any additional reward if the action taken is within the state, within that goal state. So in that case, it will be zero. But otherwise, any uh, action which is getting into this state will be rewarded with 100 points. Right. So uh, the value of, let's say, v star s, the value which we saw in the previous function, that is this value function, right? The value function and the q of s comma a, right? This value and q s comma a follows form of this r of s comma a, right? It follow from r of s comma a and discount factor, that is nothing but that symbol, if you can recall, right? Let me draw it if I can. Please pardon me this symbol, but let's say if this is our, okay, let me draw it once again properly. Yeah. So if we say that this is our discount factor, which is, let's say, zero point 0.9. In this case, it is zero point 0.9. So our discount factor is zero point 0.9. Why I say zero point 0.9 is, as you can see here, that every state, right? Every state initially, all the state or everything, all the actions, they are all initially zero, right? As you can see in this diagram, but only the action which is going into the goal state is 100. But that doesn't mean that the other states are not not have or don't have any value. So in order to give some weightage to these other states, the nearby state, right, the nearby state to the goal will be assigned some values. Now these values will be differentiating as the state is moving away from that goal state, right? As that state is moving away from that goal state. So as you can see, if this particular grid here is the goal state, right? So this particular grid here will be, let's say, 90, and also this grid here will be, let's say, value of 90. These two grids will have value 90, right? So as you can see, all the actions which are getting into this state, they are getting the reward of 90, right? Here also, as you can see, this action here is getting the reward of 90, right? So this box here is basically the discount factor of the goal, that is nothing but zero point 0.9 discount factor of the goal, which is goal is 100, right? The goal is 100 points. Similarly, if you still further move out, a discount factor of zero point 0.9 again. So zero point 0.9 of 90 will be 81. So this box will have the, let's say, value 81, and similarly this box right here will have the value 81, right? So as you can see, all the actions which are taken to enter into that state are having the value or the reward 81. Similarly, the farthest state right now here in this diagram, which is basically this particular grid here, has the value which is zero point 0.9 discount factor of the previous state, that is 81. So zero point 0.9 discount factor of 81 will be roughly 72. It is more than 72 something, but let's say 72 around here. So 72 will be the value for this state, which is a little far from the goal state. So as you can see, the actions which are entering into that state are rewarded with value 72. So this should be, using these values, it should be understood by to the system, or the learned by the system, that whether it is away from the goal state or it is towards the goal state. So an uh, optimal policy corresponding to these actions with maximal q values, right? Maximal q values, which are already shown here, right? So I hope this is understood to you. Let me move further and tell you about the q learning or the q function, right? So what first way that you are going to do is to define the new function, which is very similar to the function that we have already seen, that is value function, right? So the value function is also the same as this. So let me go back and show you. So this is our value function right here, right? So the q function is similar, or q learning is similar to the value function, right? So in this, if agent learns q, right? If the agent learns q, it can choose optimal action even without knowing the delta value, right? So delta is the factor, that is the change, right? So in Q learning, we can say that the agent learns Q. It can choose optimal action even without knowing that value. So see that this particular, which is the optimal policy, uh, formula for optimal policy is what we have already seen. Uh, with, but this formula is with respect to the Q function, that is Q of S comma A. Whereas Q is the evaluation function the agent will learn, right? Q is the evaluation function that is going to learn. How it is going to learn? By evaluating. So as you can see here, Q of S comma I, this is the evaluation function. So how is it going to learn that evaluation? By comparing those rewards that we are going to get, right? So let us go further and understand what is this Q learning, right? So Q learning algorithm is what we have here, basically assuming the deterministic rewards and actions. So this is with respect to assuming we have deterministic rewards and actions. So we are only considering only the deterministic world scenarios, as I have told you in the beginning of the class. So we are only considering the deterministic world. So in this q learning, for each state and the action, initialize the table entry, that is the uh, evaluation function q of s comma a to initially to 0. Then observe the current state s. The current state is s, and repeat these things, right? Do this repeatedly. What is this? Do this repeatedly unless we reach the optimal state. So when do we understand that how to what to repeat? First of all, first we need to select an action and execute it, right? As you and now try to connect these steps with respect to the example that I've shown you earlier, that is with respect to the robot, right? So let's say we are going to select an action and simply execute it, right? Receive the immediate reward. Receive the immediate reward or observe the new state. Observe the new state, which is nothing but s dash, right? The current state is s, right? And the new state is s dash. So observe the new state. Update the table entry for the q cap s comma a, which is our evaluation function here, right? And update by what? Update using this formula, which is q of s comma a implies the reward plus the discount factor and the maximum value of the evaluation function q of s dash comma a dash, where s dash is the new state, a dash is the action, right? So once we have this new state, we are going to replace, or you can say we are going to consider this new state as our current state. So new state will be assigned as the current state, right? So we are going to do this forever unless we reach the optimal solution, right? So this is all about the q learning algorithm. Now let us talk with respect to example of updating this q function, right? Updating this q cap value. So the update to this q cap, let's say after executing a single action, right? After executing a single action, now on the left side you can see that the initial state, that is s1, right? The initial state s1 of, let's say, robot r, and several relevant q dash values. We have several q dash values in its initial hypothesis. For example, the value s cap of s1 comma a, right? Right? For the value s1 comma a, right? Let's say that value is 72, right? Initially, let's assume that this value is 72. So where a right, this a of a right, basically a right refers to the action that moves uh, to its right, right? Moves r to its right. Now this r is nothing but the right, you can say. So moves r, or moves to its right. So when the robot executes the action, let's say a right, it receives immediate reward, right? It receives immediate reward, let's say r, which is 0, right? R initial, this is the initial reward, let's say r 0, and transition to the state s2, which is our next state. Transition to our state x2, s2. So what it is going to do next is then it is going to update its uh, new value, that is q cap, that is nothing but our evaluation function here. So it is going to estimate this q cap of s1 comma a, right, based on the q cap estimates for the new state, that is s2 state. Now in the S2 stage, again, when we add the current reward plus the learning rate, the discount factor, then the maximize of the values, that is 63, 81, and 100. So when we maximize is that, the value that we are going to get is the 90. How? So as you can see, maximum value out of these three is 100, right? So 100 multiplied by the discount factor, that is zero point 0.9 here in this case, right? So when you multiply zero point 0.9 with the 100, of course you get the value 90. So you can say that the evaluation function has been ultimately evaluated to the maximum value, which is 90, right? So that's for an example. So for the q learning. So I hope this example is clear and you have a good idea about what is this reinforcement learning overall. Right. So if you have still any doubt, you can pause the video. You can go through whatever the instructions that given here, note down the important formulas as well as understand these state diagrams so that it becomes more clear, right? So please go to the lectures wherever you get stuck, pause and rewind and understand it more better. So if you still have any doubt, you can reach out to me. So this is my details. So with this, we have come to the end of this particular module, right? As well as this particular subject right here. So hopefully, the you have understood the overall aspect, the overall understanding of what this machine learning provides us, where all what are the different fields wherein we can apply this machine learning. How can we sort out different problems in machine learning, right? How can we classify problems with respect to the type of machine learning, supervised, unsupervised, and a reinforcement type of learning. So with this, we shall close today's lecture, and which concludes basically also our module 5, right? So that's all. Thank you for your patient listening, and we shall conclude the lecture. Thank you.